Wednesday, November 20th, 2019, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So there are those who think that cycles move the market, that the headlines out there, be it geopolitical, economic, just coincide with the cycles. But be as it may, we have some interesting headlines overnight concerning Hong Kong. FT is reporting from about 4 hours ago, U.S. Senate passes bill pressuring Beijing over Hong Kong. Human Rights and Democracy Act is a boon to protesters, but sparks anger from China, of course. And the bill, of course, needs to go through the House as well, and President Trump would need to sign it into law. He could veto the bill. Why would he veto such a bill? Well, the FT talks about how President Trump promised at the G20 meeting that he would not interfere or talk too much about Hong Kong, right? That he would leave it to the Chinese, of course. So that's the thing that could make things very interesting. It wouldn't look good, of course, if both the Senate and the House would pass this bill. It wouldn't look good that President Trump would veto that. So is this what's going to kill the trade deal, the trade negotiations, scupper everything? Because the Chinese wouldn't be very happy about this. They've warned here. I think this has come from the Foreign Ministry spokesperson, Yan Shuang. They've issued a very strong statement in China. This is from Zero Hedge, and it says, on November 19th, the U.S. Senate passed the Hong Kong Bill of Rights and Human Rights and Democracy. The bill disregards the fact, confuses right and wrong, violates the axioms, plays with double standards, openly intervenes in Hong Kong affairs, interferes in China's internal affairs, and seriously violates the basic norms of international law and international relations. The Chinese side strongly condemns and resolutely opposes this, of course. I'm not going to judge Hong Kong, what's happening there. I know it's pretty bad, quite violent. But one thing I would say, we've been having similar protests in France for over 12 months, right? Not sure about the casualties there, but a lot of people have been lost eyes, right? Been hurt quite badly. I think there have been casualties as well as a result of all the injuries. The Gilets jaunes, of course, they protested the other day, marking the first anniversary of the beginning of the protest. We haven't heard anything from the U.S. Senate about democracy, right, in France. So that's one thing I would put out there geopolitically. So what about the markets? Well, yesterday, for the first time in a while, the Dow actually dropped. I see here that the S&P dropped 1.85. The Dow dropped 102 points, which is only 1/3%, but I guess it's a start. Overnight, markets have been under pressure, mainly on the back of this Senate bill, right? And the response by the Chinese. So we've got the Dow now, and it's 7:52 a.m. London. The Dow is down 62.5 points. 1/4% isn't much. We're at 27,867. The low has been about 30 points lower. So we did get down to minus 100. S&P is also down 1/4 at 3112. It did get down to 3108. The NASDAQ 100 future is down 1/3 as well at 8306. Precious metals showing a little bit of a sign of life. The charts look better. Looks like we've made a bottom recently, and we're starting to move higher. But I would say the key levels for gold is around 1488. That's the 50% retracement. of the high in September and the recent low. So we're at 1476.50 right now, just over 4 points, $4. The high's been 1477.80 and the low 1472. Silver's virtually unchanged at 1715. Range has been 1708 to 1721. Before I go into the currencies, I'll talk a little bit about the bond market today instead of leaving it to last. I've noticed the bond market yields are starting to drop again. Is that a sign that the markets may expect something from the Fed on December 11th? Not quite yet, because the shorter term yields haven't really moved that much, but who knows? Things could get worse, or we could have geopolitical problems in the interim, right? We're seeing this maybe come to a head right now concerning Hong Kong. So the 10-year yield, yeah, we're down over 25 basis points since just before the Fed cut rates recently. I think we got up to 198, and this morning we're at 174, down 4.5 basis points, which is quite a big move in the bond markets. So we'll keep an eye on that. The currencies, to be honest, they haven't really been doing much lately, but let's have a look at them. Apart from cable or sterling, and even that hasn't really moved that much. Right now we're down 0.1 sterling at 129.12. The euro is down 0.1 as well at 110.68, and the dollar is slightly lower against the yen, 108.44. And not surprisingly, the dollar is a bit stronger against the yuan at 703.50, up about 0.1. WTI crude coming off here, probably not a good indicator for the stock market. Those two have been trading in tandem of late. Crude is 55.26. That's down 1/8%. Yesterday, I think we were trading almost at 57, so we've come off a bit. Same thing for Brent. We're trading above 63 recently, and we're now at 60.10, down 1/3. So that's where the markets are this morning. That's what's happening out there in terms of China, Hong Kong, the U.S. Senate. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Could this be why President Trump actually met with Fed Chairman Powell? Did President Trump know the Senate was going to put this bill through the other day, and he called in Powell to tell him about it? Of course, the stock market has been going up recently, not only because the Fed is pumping so much money into the system, but also because the markets expect something to occur, a phase one to be signed, a phase one deal, which is not even the deal. So yeah, it could have been because of that, right? So that's it for today. A shorter video. I might do another video later on today. Who knows? But yeah, markets starting to get a little more interesting. At least the stock markets. Is this just like a blip and we're going to keep going up? It could be. Could the situation with Hong Kong resolve itself? I think it's going to be trickier. And President Trump has a tough balancing act there to not to look too accommodative to the Chinese, especially if both houses of Congress pass the bill, right? The Senate has done it already. Wouldn't see a reason why the House wouldn't do it. So let's wait and see. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Make sure you hit that little notification bell above to be notified of all my new videos. You can also follow me on Twitter, Steemit, and on DTube. I wish you all a great day, and I will hopefully talk to you later, even today. If not, tomorrow. Take care.